So you wanted to write at a very young age. Is this the first thing that you've actually written, or have you done short stories or articles that have been published, anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. This is the first thing I've written that has been, on this type of a scale. I wrote some movie screenplays that I've never done anything with, and I wrote stories all through, growing up and whatnot. But as far as, and actually it's funny, when the Cardinals won the World Series a few years back, I actually had a letter published in Sports Illustrated. I've been published in the Missouri, and I've been published in several local newspapers, things like that. I also write a lot of articles. Started doing this over the last several months. Started writing some articles online, for sales type, business-related functions and things of that nature, just to kind of get some press and some public persona for, what I'm embarking to do now with Birth of a Salesman. So, writing and communicating has always been something that's, been second nature to me. And like I said before, I think it's important to impart those types of things and what you know and learn to other people if you're good at doing that.
Mm-hmm. So at 31, the ideas that you got for this Vincent Scott guy, who is the fictional character, fictional author of the chapters in the book of Birth of a Salesman, and the funny little antics that he does at the workplace and the ideas that he has, where did you get these ideas? We talked about you interjecting yourself a little bit into the book, but were they from maybe other movies you've seen, or how did you come up with the meat of the story?
Well, I've kind of run the gamut over my sales career. I've worked for a major communications company, and I've done a lot of sales things over my last, 10 years of my life. And, I've seen a lot of things, done a lot of things. I've seen what to do, what not to do. And, there are things in there that are tested and have worked. I'm not going to say that there's no element of truth, but, there are... I've seen what motivates people, and I've also had been given the charge of motivating, a couple hundred people, doing stand-ups for 220 people in a room every morning. So, there's a lot of that in there. And, I think the biggest thing about sales is, like you said to kick this off, it's kind of a love-hate relationship that we have with sales. It's not something that we necessarily want to do all the time, but if you're good at it, and you can get very passionate about it. It pays handsomely. So I think the big thing is selling people on coming back and doing that job every day. And that was something that I've been doing. And, so those types of concepts, absolutely. Those are things that are applied. But you have to do something out of the ordinary to get people's attention. And, that's kind of a lot of what the book is about, too. Whether you're a sales rep, whether you're a sales manager, whether you run a department, you've got to do something out of the ordinary to get people's attention. People don't pay attention to status quo. People don't pay attention to, if you get a call from somebody trying to hawk you long distance, you're probably going to hang up because they didn't capture your imagination. But the things in this book, the things that the characters do, they capture imagination, and that's how you take yourself to the next level.
So it's not only a fictitious story about this dude doing funny things, it's also a good lesson on how you can succeed as a salesperson. So it's twofold why you would want to read it.
Absolutely. Like I said, about 40% of the book is strictly how to sell. It's Vincent's book on how to sell. It's a book within a book. And then the rest of it is kind of him leading by example, showing a lot of what he does. A lot of it's kind of a day in the life. It's him, he starts out leaving for work at the beginning of the day, and a lot of it's flashing back through, periods of his life, kind of the promise, the pitfalls, the friends and foes that he's made over the years. It's all just kind of jam-packed in there. So, absolutely. Anybody can, anybody that's ever had a job, anybody that's ever had a lot of these types of life experiences would get something out of this, no question. You don't have to want to sell, be a salesperson. A reader would be hard-pressed not to find similarities between their own lives and his.
Okay. His name is Carson Heady. He's author of Birth of a Salesman. He's a Cape native. Check him out. Where can they get the book, Mr. Carson?
Well, the book will be out by end of August, early September. I'm doing the fun of editing right now, and so you can check me out at www.carsonv, as in victory, or vincentheady.com, and I will keep everybody posted on there.
Heady, Heady. Carson, thank you, and much success to you, sir.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye now. It's 8:55. He's a hometown boy. Let's support him, read his book, and tell everybody else to read it, too. 355.
Miller's First Insurance Agent.